And testing.
Good evening, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that take to the airways with fast scan television. We have a repeater located up on Cougar Mountain. We transmit on 70 centimeters. It's a crossband repeater and spits out images at 1.2 gigahertz. Also, advise you to go to WW7ATS at Google. That's Google WW7ATS. That will take you to our homepage. There you'll find the exact frequencies we transmit and receive on. And also there'll be a link to YouTube where we stream our nets held Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. Also, we'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR's repeater 147.08 and note a specific tone of 103.5 for this net. Again, the specific tone of 103.5 for this net. So with that, I'll pause in case anybody has emergency traffic or needs to make contact with somebody on the net before our net gets fully underway. This is Dave, KD7CYM, and this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. Hearing none, again, welcome to the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Already signed in by a video link is Ron, KD7QKU. Bob, K9BQ, Wade, W7ITL, Jim, N7QO, James, WU7N, and myself, Dave, KD7CYM. Is there anybody else wishing to check into the net?
This is KF7UHK, Jessica and Everett.
7UHK, thank you for checking in. Again, is there anybody else who wishes to check into the net? And we'll start the net rolling. We'll start off with Ron, KD7QKU in Tacoma.
He's away from his microphone.
KF7UHK, Jessica.
And Everett, this is Jessica, KF7UHK. Sylvia's off at work today. I'm going to only be here for a little over half hour. But I want to say hello to everybody. I don't have my computer with me today, but I may use my other computer in the other room to throw something up on the screen anyhow. Didn't do much today, making some salmon in the back porch in our smoker. Gonna have some baked potatoes with it, and looking forward to the rest of the evening. This is Jessica, KF7UHK.
K9PQ.
Well, good evening, everybody. Good to hear from you, Jessica. Say hi to Sylvia for me. Well, just been kind of enjoying this really fantastic weather we've been having. It's not often that it's just like in that perfect zone in the mid 70s and sunny, and so I've been enjoying that. I have not so much here, but more in Oregon, and of course California is in the news. But the wildfires are picking up, and in eastern Washington there are quite a few. So it's not, the big one that's in the news is California, and then of course in Jasper, in Alberta. I forget where Jasper is, but we've got wildfires around here as well. My brother in Southern Oregon, he said they've been smelling smoke off and on because of the wildfires around there. Hang on a second, I'm gonna turn off the speaker on my laptop. There we go. Somebody wasn't muted. I think I lost my train of thought. I will just send it back, and we'll pick it up next time around. K9PQ, back to net.
K9PQ, let's go to Wade, W7ITL in Tacoma.
7ITL, let me get my video going here, and then we can get going. Excuse me. Just a moment here while I get this all set up. I'm having some technical difficulties here. Apologize. I'll just get started. So today I went out to the Radio Club of Tacoma, took Ron with me, and we hung out there for a little bit, and had a pretty good day over there, and had myself, they're having chili dogs, so I ate one of those, and got to check in with a couple of people there, then got to bring I brought my radio in after I dropped Ron off, and went back and played around with my 705 at the Radio Club, and made some contacts on FT8, and besides that, today I did take my son to his Boy Scout hike. He's going to be doing that, and he'll be back Monday, and besides that, going to probably go to a movie tomorrow with my daughter, and other than that, it's been pretty good. So I'll turn it back to Dave. This is W7ITL.
W7ITL, let's go to Covington to Jim, N7QO.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Let's see, well, we missed Ron, but he came back, but now he's not there now, apparently. Jessica, hi. Say hi to Sylvia. Nice for you to check in. At least we know you're only going to be here for about half the net, but that's good. Yeah, pretty shot of the eclipse there. I know it wasn't our most recent one, but people got some pictures that I saw of the most recent eclipse. They didn't look too much different than that one, but they were taken, I think, from Mexico or something. I don't know. You guys were on the cruise ship. I would have thought you would have been in an ideal place to see them, but I don't know. Anyway, the picture you've got up there looks pretty. Thanks for that. Bob, fires. Yeah, pretty bad. I cannot smell any smoke at my house, fortunately. That makes me happy. But I can say this. Last night we had a moon. It wasn't a full moon, a partial moon. But it was red, actually it was orange. And it looked kind of pretty. But I'm sure it was all the smoke that was making it look like that. Wow. so there's definitely a lot of smoke out there. Wade, that's pretty cool. Take your rig to the club and maybe plug in their antenna or something. See how much you can do. Although probably with FT8 it doesn't take a whole lot. I don't know. That's one of those things I've always been meaning to get involved with, but never did, at least not yet. And I'm not sure how much longer it's going to take me to get my act together. Things are just crazy busy for me, but I'll get there eventually. Anyway, sounds like you have had fun doing that. Back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
N7QO, thanks for that. And get a quick ID here again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Well, let's move on down the line and go to James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue. W7N, check your tone.
Not keying up the repeater at all.
No. Mystery. Okay, I mounted my JPO on a tripod.
For my guess, I would say it's a push-to-talk button issue because you're not keying up the repeater at all. You're full on or completely not there. K9PQ.
At ham radio, we never know if it's going to be 100% successful.
Coax hooked up to that antenna.
Be able to hear me now. I'm probably going to be a listener tonight. We'll see how this goes. This is really strange to me. I have no idea how my systems are interacting here because I've got a J-pole instead of my directional antenna, 3-element tied up to a tripod and out in the middle of my new deck. And when I keyed up, it made my Sony monitor click, click, click and go crazy. So when I key up, I'm putting out so much RF or some kind of weird RF that it's actually affecting the monitor, which is at least 6-10 feet away. And then the other thing that's going on, for some reason you can't hear me. So despite me putting out all this energy, it's not hitting the repeater even though I'm at 103.5. So I'm not sure what's going on, but I guess I'll have to figure that out. Air quality, I got the solution to perfect air quality. Don't throw away your old iPhone. I have an old iPhone and a new iPhone, and I use the old one upstairs. It still receives phone calls, so you can't do much else with it unless it's using my network inside of my house. But it's got a weather app on it, and I click it, push the weather app and look at air quality. It is consistently 10 points better than the weather app on my new iPhone.
So they must have changed weather apps when they, upgraded iPhone somewhere along the way. Weather Channel, I thought, was what they both were. They looked like that, but apparently they changed, and obviously the two apps are getting their weather quality information from two different sources. So if you don't like one, just go to the other, and you can check that one out. Any day at a radio club sounds like a good day. I'm glad you were able to get down there. It sounds like a great club. I think I might try to get down there some Saturday and visit myself just to see what it looks like. It seems to be open and active on a Saturday, so that's what I'll target for. Other hot news here, I'm down to one door and two windows, which are going to happen Monday, and then the great deck renewal project is done. I'll have some pictures maybe next time, and you can see it. One thing about doing this, no one warned me about, it just makes the rest of my house look like garbage, because it looks so good. I just can't get over that. It really does. I mean, it looks so good, and then it looks so good, I want to throw tarps over it for the winter or something. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's an outdoor deck, but the first bird that it does something on it, I'm going to go nuts. So anyway, well, I'll probably be a listener here unless I can crack the code on this and figure this out. This is WW7N in Northeast Bellevue. Dave, take it away.
WW7N, thanks for at least getting into the net. This is Dave, KD7CYM in Lake City. Oh, cooling down a little bit today. It's in the lower 70s here and quite cloudy out. So I think we got some rain coming about Monday. That'll be interesting to see. Hopefully, somebody said there might be some thunderstorms. I hope that doesn't cause lightning that might cause some problems with forest fires in the area. So anyway, that's what was happening. And the majority of the day I was going through, as I had mentioned, I got my will put together and also had medical directives with that. And I was sorting those out, getting those ready to send off to my health provider. However, I had to read them. Oh my gosh, this sure, once you go through an attorney, it's not just a simple word or two. They have to throw in a magnitude of 3 or 4 paragraphs where one word would probably be more than enough to satisfy the legalese for the health provider. But anyway, I've got that up and ready to ship off, and that's about it. Got out for a little walk in my neighborhood, so I got some exercise that felt great, getting me off the couch. But then I've been watching some of the Olympics, and they are moving along, so that's about it. This is Dave, KD7CYM, again in Lake City. So let's go up to Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, thank you very much, Dave. Sorry, you guys. I ducked out a minute ago. Joanne's a little gun shy. She had a message on her computer. She wanted me to see it, but it was nothing. No problem. So anyway, like Wade said, he picked me up this morning, and we went up to the over to, whatever you want to call it. It's actually east of me, so I suppose it's towards town, so maybe it's up. So anyway, to the ham club. Today was swap meet, so that a lot of people had stuff there for sale, and I looked through most of it. There wasn't anything that I really need. There's some neat gadgets, that's for sure, but either I don't know how to use them or I don't need them, so I didn't make any offers or bring anything home. And then later I went in and sat down in this other room and sat down with a guy named Steve, and he asked me what I'd been up to. First I said, well, not very much. I don't do hardly anything, Steve. It's just kind of boring. And then I said, well, I guess I did do something. Armando came over and worked on my sprinkler system. I needed a backflow valve, and now I have to have it tested. So that caused a little bit of discussion. And then when we kind of got through with that, I turned to Steve and I said, what did you do? And he said, I've been up by North Bend. There's a camp, and I've been up there with a bunch of kids for a week. And he said that was a lot of fun. And he said he and another fellow, maybe or more, they set up a fox hunt for these kids, and they put out hit a little transmitter, and then he said they paired the kids up with three. One was running the antenna, one was running a little, I suppose, handheld or something, and then one had a clipboard, and they had maybe a compass or something, I don't know. But anyway, they had to figure out where they thought it was, and then he said the kids had a lot of fun, and I don't know how long it taken, but he said then they rendezvoused them all again, and then they kind of had a map of the area, and everybody put down their compass headings and stuff, and then wherever the lines crossed, they said that's probably where the fox or bunny was at. So, and the kids went over there and they couldn't find it, and it was in kind of in an open field. And he said that there had been this kind of like a cone, those orange cones, but it was the pipe type cone. He said it had been around there all the time. And so it wasn't anything unusual to the kids. And so finally one kid got smart and went over and picked it up, and sure enough there was a little transmitter. So, but he said the kids had great fun trying to figure it all out. So then I guess I can let it drop. Young black lady that came in, gee, I would say she's in her early 20s. And I think she was a soldier down at JBLM. She had got her license. She had some handhelds, I think, in this little black briefcase. The guys were nice, really nice to her, and welcomed her, and then one of them taking her on a tour, and then the clubhouse and everything. So I kind of think it was maybe her first time there. I didn't hear her name. I don't hear very well, and there's always a lot of noise down there, so it's real difficult. But I thought we have one black guy that was in the room there. He's the second to the oldest guy in the club, and maybe Wade knows how old he is. He's really a pretty old guy, smart guy who knows a lot about. So he had done electronics when apparently he was in the service. That's what she did, I think, and so he's and her had quite a conversation. And so did a lot of the other fellows there have been in the service, and they know all about JBLM and other places, and so they were all talking to her. So I think she had a really good time, and I enjoyed listening when I could figure out what they were talking about. It's terrible, I'm telling you. My hearing is just getting worse and worse. So anyway, all right, back to net, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, thanks for that. And time for another ID. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society NEP. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. I'll pause in case anybody else would like to join the NEP. Hearing none, again, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society NET. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Let's go to Jessica, KF7UHK, Smokehouse Queen.
Alder chips, so it almost smells like you're somewhere like Ivers, because they use that great alder wood to smoke. So it's going to be delicious. It's not a very big piece of salmon, but we usually have leftover, so this will be just right. I put a little bit of butter and some salt and some brown sugar and a little bit of molasses on top to kind of candy it just a bit. It's gonna be delicious. Let's see, fox hunt. That sounds like that was just really fun. That would have been fun to go watch or go do, and learning triangulation with things like that. I think it's just amazingly fun. And the swap meet, I would love to have gone. Probably just a window shopper, because I have too much stuff already. Just in general. And I think Sylvia and I might go up to Skagit and go bowl with a bunch of people from work and go hang out. We might not bowl, we might just sit and eat and drink or something like that. Have snacks and drinks and watch them bowl and laugh with them, because this should be fun. Fun to see people out of our uniforms. That eclipse picture I just put up there, the last one, is the one we took down off the coast of Mazatlan. And yeah, they positioned that ship, the Discovery Princess, probably in a perfect spot they could be in, you know, because they got their GPS and they could put their boat just right where they wanted to. They had plenty of latitude around them. There's no, you know, we weren't at all close to the coast. And the interesting thing about that is I don't see the diamond ring effect on those pictures that we took in Mazatlan, where that first picture I threw up there for a few minutes, that had the diamond ring effect where it has a little nudge of the sun coming through and it makes looks like a diamond sitting there shining. And I don't know why, but all the pictures I saw of this year's eclipse did not have the diamond ring effect. So now I wonder, does that only come sometimes, or is it just our positioning where we're at? I don't really know. The diamond ring effect one in 2017 we took from Arco, Idaho, and that was just a pin on the map and said, I think we'll go here and find a place to camp, and that's how we got our picture from that first picture I showed. Okay, I'm gonna pass it back. This is KF7, Jewish K.
UHK, let's go to Bob, K9PQ.
Okay, I don't know for sure, but my guess would be that, yeah, it was your position, because you were positioned so perfectly, it was even all the way around. I think that diamond ring effect happens when you're offset by just a little bit. But you got me thinking when you said all the pictures you've seen from this latest one don't have the diamond ring effect, so now I'm not as sure. One thing I'm sure of is that salmon sounds delicious. Man, oh man. That sounds like a really good dinner there. What else have I got? Oh, James, I don't know if this is true or not, but I have another guess for you. If you know that you're actually transmitting when we say we don't hear you, maybe it's somehow, and you're getting that clicking, you said maybe somehow you're overpowering and suppressing the transmitter because of the power feeding back from the antenna. That's the best I can think of. If the antenna, but it sounds like it's far enough away, it shouldn't be a problem. So I don't have a real good guess on that one either. I do have something for the wildfires. My brother told me about an app that he uses on his smartphone called Watch Duty, and I'll type it into the chat here as well. But there are websites out there. There's some pretty good websites out. But this one is just very simple and gives a real nice view of the fires that are there and information about each one. So it's a good one. It's called Watch Duty, and you can get it for Android or iOS, Apple. So check it out. Okay, I'll send it back. K9PQ.
Let's go to Wade, W7ATS in Tacoma.
Well, thanks for letting me check in a second time, and see, not a lot more to add. I kind of heard what Ron was saying, but I was checking into the double nickel net, and you can try that again, James. I didn't have my RF turned on. Let's see. So. Yeah, I was kind of curious what you were talking about. I didn't hear the conversation that you had, Ron, with that gentleman. You said Steve was his name? Yeah, he's a smart dude. Yeah, I'm not sure, but let's see, what else? Like I said, I'm probably going to a movie tomorrow with my daughter. Let's see, other things. Oh, Jessica, I did want to make a comment about that fish. It just made me so hungry just listening to you talk about it. Oh man, alder smoked salmon. Oh, that sounds so good. And let's see, James, I'm not sure what's going on with your rig. Maybe it is overpowered, or maybe you're sure you're getting signal out. I don't know. Maybe I don't know if you tested. I'm sure you tested this already, but you've already took your handheld and tuned in the same frequency to see if you can hear yourself. or maybe try to record yourself on another radio in another room, see how well it sounds, see if it's clicking, if it's going in and out. If it's going in and out, maybe it is the PTT circuits going out on your rig, or maybe there's something wrong with the transmitter elements in the rig. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, Dave, I did want to comment about the weather. It's definitely good today. It's beautiful. I don't know if it got up to 80. I was indoors a lot and I didn't really notice the temperature because I have air conditioning in my house. So it was a little warm at the radio club this morning, but it was normal for this time of year. It didn't bother me too much. Yeah, not a lot more. I don't know, Ron, if you heard, but it sounds like maybe there is a new or a repeater that's back on the air that the radio club maintains. It's one of the radios that they keep at the site that's by my house. I haven't tried to tune up to it to see how well it sounds, but I'm going to probably try that later, maybe today, tonight, maybe after the net, or tomorrow. But like I said, I'm probably not going to check in the next round. If I do, I might be absent for one round if you make it back to me twice, because I'm going to try to check into the Country Cousins net before it gets too late. The Northwest Country Cousins net. All right. What else? I think that is it for this round. All right. This is Wade, W7ITL. Back to net.
WW7ATS and Quick ID. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Let's go to Jim, N7QO in Covington.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Okay, so I am not getting video from Ron or Bellevue Jim or you, Dave. Dave, just curious, are you transmitting video?
ZYM negative, not transmitting.
Just switched it just now, so it might take a second. Say something, Wade, go ahead.
On the repeater just fine. It looks really clean tonight. It took a while. I think it was not on the channel for the grand stream, but it looks like it's coming in now.
I was actually referring to the computer. I'm trying to figure out if something's messed up with my computer or what. I think, Bob, you have a suggestion? Go ahead.
The way Jitsi works, it means that your internet maybe is a bit slow, and that's how it deals with if it can't, if it's struggling to keep up with all the video, it will just stop some of the video. So that's what. But the rest of us are seeing everyone's video just fine. So I think that's what's going on there. Back to you, Jim. K9PQ.
Okay, thank you. That that might explain it. Yeah, I've got a yellow box on my picture as well. That indicates my my internet service is what's it say here? Non-optimal, and now it doesn't want to display it. Anyway, thanks for mentioning that, Jim. But that explains something, Bob. My company got rid of these Surface computers for a reason. It's because they just don't have the horsepower to do everything that the company really wanted them to do. So, excuse me, if I remember correctly, they were getting rid of these things for like $75. So I said, yeah, I'll take one of them. But I don't know. The price is right. You know, my wife has not had any sort of problems, and she does Zoom meeting. Oh, well, wait a minute. We're not doing Zoom anymore. Maybe that's part of it too. Okay. I was going to say what I should do, I'll just reload Windows sometime between now and the next time my wife uses this. I might not be able to do that. She wants it tomorrow. But anyway, okay, it sounds like it's a limitation of the software here of Jitsi. So thanks for mentioning that. And let's see here. Someone was talking about temperature. I saw 81 degrees at my house today. I never reset the thermometer, so I don't know if it got any hotter than that, but I glanced at it once and I saw 81 here, just south of Covington. I am typically just a couple degrees warmer than what they report in Seattle, and also generally a couple degrees colder. What else can I throw out there? Yeah, I didn't spend a whole lot of time watching the Olympics today. I've been kind of busy doing some other things. I did manage to watch a little bits and pieces here and there, which looked entertaining. I did catch the opening ceremonies, all 4 hours of it. Not sure it was really worth watching all 4 hours, but it was entertaining. I kind of like the Beijing Olympics better, but oh well. And I did catch part of the Mariners game today. They wound up losing in the end. It was 6-3. Oh wait a minute. Mariners won today, 6-3. The White Sox lost. Sorry about that. Let's see. What else can I say? I don't know. That's enough for one transmission. Back to you, Dave, N7QO.
Let's see if we can pick up James, WW7N.
Can you hear me now? Thank you, Wade, for your suggestion, because I noticed, when I key up, I get a little click on my radio, and that's probably some sort of little read relay. This radio is only, 30, 40 years old or something like that. It's an ICOM 706 Mark IIG, I think, or something like that. They just don't make them like they used to. Time flies. I guess it is 3 decades old. Well, anyway, I was going to thank Jessica for the picture of the solar eclipse and the egg shape there and everything. That's kind of interesting, and your comments too on that, Bob. Other than that, let's see. I will do whatever you want me to do with the output of the video. So just let me know what you want, Wade. Well, maybe things just have to warm up, because I got another good suggestion. Am I really putting something out? Well, I hooked up an MFJ power meter, SWR meter, and I can see that my SWR barely even moves. So at least what the antenna and the feed line are presenting to the meter, and then through a 1-foot cable to the radio, is just fine. Key up, the highly accurate meter here says it's about 3 watts. Do better all the way around with less than a watt, or maybe a watt or two, going into that big 3-element 6-meter antenna that's highly directional, vertically polarized, and pointed right at Cougar Mountain, than I do with 2-3 dBs of power increase with an omnidirectional antenna. Interesting. I wouldn't think it would make that much difference since I'm only 12 kilometers away. I think Leonard Nimoy is credited with the quote, "Physics is a bitch." I think you said that in the series Fringe. So with that, let me turn it back to Net Control. This is James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue. Thanks for everyone's patience and suggestions. I appreciate it. Dave, take it away.
Katie7N. Thanks for that. And we'll get back to Jim was saying that smoke was in his neighborhood, and I think that's probably caused by Jessica smoking her salmon up north. It's causing the atmosphere to cloud over, and so we can blame her for that. So anyway, and getting signals out from a handheld and why it doesn't go and why it does go, who knows? But it did go. That's that's the bottom line. So you did succeed in transmitting a true ham out there, figuring out how to make things work when it doesn't work. So good problem solving. Well, this is Dave again, KD7CYM in Lake City. And wow, it's starting to darken up outside a little bit. Boy, I tell you, this summer brightness is slowly heading us towards the fall, but it's pretty well dark by 9 o'clock. So it's kind of interesting to see how the time goes, especially after the 4th of July, where it didn't get dark till practically 10:30, and it just sort of falls off. And that diamond picture that Jessica had, I think that means that she got engaged when she shot that, and this one broke the engagement. So anyway, things do happen over a period of time. So I'll put it back up to Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, thanks, Dave. KD7QKU. Well, James, I had some experience with overdriving radios. When we had CB radios in the motorhome, sometimes we'd be, one behind the other at a stoplight or stop sign or something, and one of us would try to talk. And that was just 5 watts, and, they would overdrive the radio so bad that it would, you couldn't, it just wouldn't work until we were, a few blocks apart. So I don't know if that little antenna is doing that to you, but it's, that was a good thought, I think. So, yeah, the Olympics. Jim mentioned the Olympics. Yeah, we watched it last night. I wasn't impressed, I'm sorry. My son Mike, he wasn't too impressed either. He said, it was art, and he was texting me. Anyway, they were trying to, I forget what, it was 3 words he texted me. And apparently I didn't appreciate them. And he also mentioned that China and Beijing, how much better it was. And it was very entertaining. I didn't find it entertaining last night. Maybe informative or something might be a better term. And it rained too. The poor people, they were getting wet, pouring down rain. Jim, the Mariners are playing the White Sox, and the White Sox are the worst team in baseball. They've only won 27 games and lost 60 or something. So they are, honestly, they are the worst team in baseball this year. So the Mariners should beat them. I'd hope they would beat them. So when I came home, so we were watching the Olympics last night in the living room. It's about a 43-inch TV. For Joanne and I, the sound is just terrible. Speakers on the back, and it's next to we have it in front of the fireplace, and the sound just doesn't come forward, and it's just terrible. We just have a terrible time. And then the LASIK is off. The sound is off compared to the lips, and that drives Joanne crazy. I had a sound bar on it once. I bought a sound bar from Amazon, and I hooked it up, and I just hooked it into the auxiliary speaker plug on the TV. And it did work, but it didn't work any better than the TV speakers, really. So I taken it off and put it in the garage. So when I came home, I, went online, Googled it, and got some information about sound bars. And so everybody said you should hook them up with the HDMI cable. So I went and got an HDMI cable, and I got the sound bar, and I plugged it in, and lo and behold, it works much better than it did with it. So it's better. It's not perfect, but it's definitely better than it was. And of course, the sound is in front of the TV set, and it points at you. So I don't have the instructions for the sound bar. We looked all over the house. I don't know what I did with them. I usually keep that stuff, but I didn't. So anyway, one day it'll turn up one of these days. So, but I did go online and find quite a bit of information out about it. So anyway, I got enough to that I'm happy with it, I think. So anyway, so that was what I accomplished today. And Wade, yeah, it was Steve. He was the treasurer or secretary or something a couple years ago, and they went up to North Bend, and he with a bunch of kids for the week, and one of the things he helped them with the fox hunt. If you missed what I was saying, yeah, Steve's a real nice guy. All those guys down there are nice and smart. They're all so much smarter than I am, man. Oh man, I have to kind of keep my mouth shut because show how dumb I am. But anyway, they all have nice equipment and they all know what they're doing. Wade was talking to one of them about that when we were in the other room, some island over by Australia that Wade had made a contact with. And of course this other guy had made a contact there, knew all about the island, knew where it was, told us the history about it. My goodness sakes, people down there, like I say, are really smart. All right, back to net, 87 QK.
QKU, thanks for that. Well, let's go to Jessica, KS7UHK.
Up in Everett, this is Jessica, KS7UHK, and Sylvia has just got home, so I'm not going to stay on long. We're going to, once again, eat a little food and dream a little dream, and possibly go up north if she's willing and wanting to do that. Like I say, she worked all day, and I'm proud of her for doing that. I don't like working the weekends if I don't have to. Whenever I get a chance to not work, I will take it because I work plenty. And I don't need any more, so that works for me. Yeah, sound bars are interesting. I don't have a sound bar, but my TV seems to be okay. But if you can't find instructions, try to go on the internet and try to describe what you have, and you might be able to find online instructions. And I found many instructions for things that I've long lost booklets for, even for pretty complicated things, and I'm always happy about that. So I'm going to say a great big 73, and I'll see you folks next time. This is Jessica up in Everett, KF7, UHK.
UHK, we got your 7-3. Let's go to Bob, G9BQ.
Yeah, well, let's see. I have a few notes here. Yeah, physics. That was my major in college, and I used to say I had a love-hate relationship with physics because it always fascinated me. I mean, that's why I took it up as a major, but boy, was it ever a bear at times. Well, actually, most of the time. but yeah, that's physics for me. I think Jim, you're right on the surface. Not having enough power maybe for Jitsi. I think James discovered the same thing with a computer that he was using. For one thing, it was, I think he said it caused the fan to kick in, so it was taxing the computer, his computer, and I think that Jitsi is just kind of very hungry. I think Zoom probably works better. Let's see. Olympics, yeah, the Olympics location. I'm not even watching the Olympics this year for some reason. It just doesn't interest me. It just isn't grabbing me this year. But long ago, I thought this, and I've been hearing more and more talk about this, that they should just have it at one location. And I was thinking Athens. Why not Athens, go back to where it all started, and then they could put all this money into it, have fantastic facilities that are permanent, and have it there every 4 years. You could have different countries, I don't know, doing some sort of participation, but they're actually finding it that fewer and fewer countries are volunteering to, or bidding, I should say, to have the Olympics, because of the tremendous cost involved and all the logistics and everything. So we may actually see that. We may actually see it go to a permanent location, and I'd be all for that. I think that's all I've got, so I will send it back. K9PQ.
PQ, let's go to Wade, W7ITL.
I'm just going to listen for the rest of the night, guys. If you could, just take a look at the chat. I wanted to test something after net. So, with that said, I'll hand it back. This is W7ITL.
Let's go to Jim, N7QO in Covington.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, it sounds like you want all of us to participate in that, Wade. So, okay. It looks like Jessica's gone already. I was going to say goodnight. And I saw a diamond ring pattern. I bet $1,000 I saw it on this most recent eclipse that we had. I don't remember. It was either somewhere down south or maybe it was at the far north end. But I saw briefly a diamond ring somewhere. It was not as spectacular as the picture which Jessica showed us, but I remember seeing it on some station. There was a station who showed progressively. They had some reporters stationed in, I don't know, maybe half a dozen different locations from southwest to northeast. Let's see. I don't know. Jim, yeah, sounds like you got communications with us, but it sounds like you're not talking to us on the 706, just on the HT. Well, I guess that works anyway. I don't know. Anyway, back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
Get a quick ID here again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, K87CYM. Let's go to James, WU7N.
I heard a little click, so I assume you can hear me. And when I turn the power down to as low as I possibly can turn it down, you can still hear me, right? Is this correct? Really kind of an interesting all or nothing that I get here, because it's not. I thought maybe it was a power issue with how much power the thing is putting out, but I think something, Wade's suggestion, something might be intermittent in the 706. And I did make an error. I'm only 7.5 kilometers, 7.5 kilometers roughly from Cougar Mountain. And so, you know, I should be able to hit it with a handheld out the window here. The handheld claims 4 or 5 watts with the batteries charged. So, I mean, I should be able to do that. If the trees weren't in the way, I should be able to see the lights on the towers. Maybe 30 years ago you could, but the trees have definitely grown up in 30 years in the Greenbelt. Yeah, it is interesting. You know, the Beijing Olympics were just that incredible show. I believe that was 2009. There's a reason I remember that, or was it 2010? I think that was with a big Beijing show, and I remember they talked extensively about the incredible logistics that they had to do to route all the performers in and get them out so that that show would never miss a beat. This was, you know, definitely China showing they were coming out. And you can't consider that was 15 years ago. They definitely have in 15 years. But, you know, we can do this. We are coordinated. We are organized. And we can put on this incredible show. I didn't watch it. Sister said she watched it. And she said she couldn't hang in there for 4 hours. She said that it was big, somebody would do something, and then they would say, and here's what, you know, Paris looks like from the drone shot, and you would see, you know, little sparkly lights of the city, which, you know, you could see
your window of many places in the U.S., and that would pan around. And I mean, she does have a way of using hyperbole to make a point, but then it would, by that time, you know, you could not only just go get a snack from the refrigerator, you could have baked a pizza and come back. One thing that was impressive is the singer, Celine Dion. She was able to go way up high on that platform that was halfway up the Eiffel Tower or something like that and sing, and it was just her up there on the little platform with some cameramen, and that's very impressive, she said, because I've not seen this, but she said there's a whole documentary about that lady's illness, whatever illness she had. I guess it was quite serious. And I guess the documentary is just cringeworthy. It's just hard to get through it because she doesn't hold anything back on what it's like to have that illness. And so I guess that was really, really impressive that not only she could sing a song and do a live performance, but that she could do it on the side of this platform way up there on the side of a big giant tower. Yeah, I've keyed up several times on and off here, and everything is just to mock me is working just perfectly well. So thank you for all your suggestions. I don't think I've really solved anything. I just got it all to work. Isn't that frustrating? This is James, WW7ATS in Northeast Bellevue. Let me turn it back to Dave, KD7ZYM, our net control.
WW7N, congratulations. This is Dave, KD7ZYM. Now getting back to Ron with his television audio problems. What happens a lot in commercial broadcasting is the network uses one server and the TV station uses a different server. So when the TV station uses a local ad, the two servers don't shake hands sometimes. And so what you've got to do is just go off channel and then retune in the channel you were watching, and the lip sync will come back to where it's supposed to be. So that, and if you're in a multiple channel thing like channel 4-1-2, just go to -2 and come back to -1, and that will solve the problem. But it's something that happens all the time. It's referred to mix-minus audio that happens with digital. Anyway, I'm sure that problem will be taken care of. So that's about all I've got, so I'm going to send it back up to Ron, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU. Well, it seems to be the only TV, the one in the living room, that does it. Wade had a suggestion, and I did go in the menu, and every menu, of course, is worded a little bit differently. I think I found what we were talking about, and it was like 0 value, and I moved it to 12, and I don't know what the total scale is. Maybe it's 50 or something. So, and I tried to look at some people that were talking and you know, hear them to see if they were synced up, and they were synced up pretty good. So I'm hoping that I solved the problem. But yeah, no, it's just that one TV set that we have the problem, and that's the one we always want to watch, like movies, and movies are the worst. Watching movies anyway. Yeah, at the end of the Olympics last night with that Dion, I can't say her name, I guess, singing, that was beautiful. It was one of the nicest songs, and she sang it, I think, in French, and we were in bed. We finally gave up. It was 11 o'clock, and she sang them. It was at pretty much the closing of the Olympic thing last night, and it was absolutely beautiful. It's one of the best I'd ever heard. I didn't realize, I knew she was sick, and she has this stiff body or something. I don't know what it's called. But I didn't know that she could even sing now, but apparently Joanne said she thinks she's getting better. But man, she sure sung like nice last night. It was really nice. I'm glad we heard that. That was the best part of the whole program, I thought. All right, I guess 73, and see you guys later. KD7QKU.
QKU. Let's go to Bob for a final. K9PQ.
Well, yeah, I don't have a whole lot to add. Celine Dion is the woman you're talking about, and I saw that documentary on Netflix or Amazon, whichever one it was on. It's on streaming, and I just I couldn't get myself to watch it. And I didn't even hear what you said. I didn't hear what you heard, James, about it being hard to watch. I just felt like it would be hard to watch, so I didn't even try. Let's see, anything else? Oh, I did want to mention that fox hunt. That's really cool that guy organized the fox hunt for the kids. I have never done a fox hunt myself yet, so one of these days, it does sound like a lot of fun. Okay, I guess that's it for me. 73 everybody, and back to you, Dave, to close it up. This is K9PQ.
PQ, thanks for that. And it's time to terminate the net. We'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7ATS repeater 147.08 for our voice transmission. So on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, who has a net on Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock, I'll be terminating the net at 9 o'clock. This is Dave, KD7CYM, on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Good evening, all.
I have a quick inquiry.